How are you? I'm back with some comic reviews, so let's go. And here's some stuff I got last week. Number 2 of Fear Itself comes out with Matt Fraction writing and Stuart Aminin doing the art. And we pick up where we left off, where the God of Fear is making a big comeback in the world of men and heroes. Scaring the mess out of Odin, actually. He pulls up stakes and gets everybody from Asgard back to, back to Asgard, actually. They're all traveling on this little rock. Hopefully back to wherever, hell Asgard really is. And everybody kind of knows he's making a hasty decision, and Thor's the only one who's really bringing it up. And of course, he's the one to suffer for that. That's a big theme in here is fear and how it's being how it's affecting different aspects of the characters, humanity, and what we have here is several characters are being chosen to be sort of the vessels for these other gods. Like here's Juggernaut, who becomes this guy. What's his name? Karuth. Breaker of Stone. And, let's see, yeah. And Hulk actually gets taken over. By the way, it's nice seeing him and Betty hanging out together. I'm actually not a big fan of bringing her back, but it's really interesting seeing her as a Hulk now. Anyway, Hulk has turned into Null, Breaker of Worlds. Here's the Absorbing Man, and I can't remember if Titania and him are married or they're just boyfriend and girlfriend. But, well, the good news for her is she's finally been, let's see, she's finally grown back to her normal self. I don't know if you've known, but the last few appearances she's been kind of, like, shrunk to microscopic size, which really didn't make their relationship that much better. Well, but no, now she's been possessed too, as Skurd, Breaker of Men. And, let's see, Sin, by the way, don't forget her, she is the daughter of the Red Skull, and she was the first to be possessed, and now she's put together this army of robot Nazis, and they're attacking DC. I'm not familiar with Sin. Obviously I haven't read Captain America in a while, but Sin is, of course, the daughter of the Red Skull. She has everyone call her Sin because, Cindy Skull isn't really that intimidating. But, haha, take that, Washington. And, yeah, it's really exciting. We're really jumping in here. I'm glad we're not taking too much time setting stuff up, like some crossovers can do. Enjoying this very much. I'm going to give this a nice 5 RAM chip. I know what I say about crossovers, but so far this has been good. Very good, Mr. Fraction. I've finally jumped full into American Vampire after kind of flirting around with the series for a few months here and there. Decided to pick up my own damn copies instead of reading Lindsay's. This is issue 14, and it's written by Scott Snyder and Raphael, how do you pronounce that name? What do you think?
Albuquerque. Yes,
anyway, what she said. I love the first page where the narration goes into how sometimes you're just too close to something to see what it actually is, and the camera pulls back, and it's not a vampire mouth, it's the front of this boat that's been painted to look like a monster. Very clever. The art here is beautiful, by the way. This is definitely World War II era. And these soldiers are sent in to take out vampires. Meanwhile, we're cutting to the main story here in Honolulu. But most of this book takes place... Love that panel. I think that's beautiful, the way that's done. As the characters go deeper and deeper into the pit of hell, basically. I'm loving this. I'm going to keep buying this book. This is very, very good. I'm going to give it 5 RAM chips. The hype is true about this book. I think it's really well done. 5 RAM chips. Now over to DC Vertigo's iZOMBIE, which I've been talking about, and I still love. This is issue 13, first part of a new story arc called 6 Feet Under and Rising. And let's see, it's by, as usual, Chris Robinson and Mike Allred. And it opens up kind of humorously with the gang kind of doing a Scooby-Doo adventure, just finishing up. Meanwhile, it's Gwen's birthday, and she's been invited to the mummy's house. And meanwhile, her friend from the previous arc looks like she's getting turned into a vampire. What the mummy wanted to tell her was Galatea, who's been kind of sneaking around the last few issues as a mad scientist, and even has recruited a thought to be dead vampire for her evil, fiendish experiments. She tends to be sort of the role of the Bride of Frankenstein, actually, which I think is kind of cool. We're kind of seeing all the classic Universal monster archetypes in here. By the way, my favorite, one of my favorite sequences is the fight with the zombies. I like that quite a bit, actually. The art is just beautiful and has a lovely little cliffhanger. There's also a fun little tiny short with something called The Dead Presidents. It's not bad either. Loved it a lot. This is a good time to jump into the book. I'm going to give it 5 RAM chips as well. Not a bad week. Also, we have from, let's see, AP Press, the Gold Digger series. This is issue 127 from Fred Perry, who writes and illustrates the book. Now, I picked up 125 was my first issue, and I was going to pick up 126, but the store I go to only orders a small amount for the regular customers, because there's a few dedicated Gold Digger fans that always buy it, and he doesn't really order that much else. So I was kind of out of luck with issue 126. I'm trying to get it, but what's good is DeBraw's exposition in the first 2 pages kind of explains what happened in the last issue, so I'm pretty good. Our heroes got out of this tight situation, fighting against the villain Dreadwing, but he gets away. Dreadwing is kind of, well, let's take a step back here. The heroes of this book, Gina and Brittany, who are sort of adventurer kind of archaeologists in this kind of fantasy world, they've been recruited by what is a race of dragon people, where they can be either people and then turn into gigantic fucking dragons. Here's their downtown district, and this really cool kind of page here. Dreadwing has escaped from his imprisonment of thousands of years and something like that. He's kind of like the Voldemort of the dragon people. Anyway, they're making big plans. Actually, the whole issue is essentially them plotting what they're going to do next against this guy. And the queen is kind of caving into pressure, actually. Her daughter's very worried. Gina and Brittany are very worried. She makes really rash decisions. I mean, she's kind of succumbing to the pressure. Interesting stuff here. I'm going to give this 4 RAM chips. It's not a bad series to jump into, even after all these issues. It's been fairly simple for me. I'm going to say that these have been pretty good. Also, don't forget, I got my own comic coming out, The Red Knight, and you can check out the link below for the Facebook page, as well as the Primal paper page, which is going to be publishing the comic. I'm looking to release it in July, so keep an eye out for it. I think that's about it, so push the button, Lindsay.